Is my voice is audible? Can anyone please respond?
Yes, yes,
Yes,
audible.
ma'am.
Okay, thank you. I'm very happy to say to involve in these ECOR activities. So ECOR Foundation reopened the talk series for youth. This event is organized by ECOR Foundation in association with SDGBI India, ENCORE Club India, and Nannay Africa. In this talk series, we are inviting youth across the world to deliver talk on their field of expertise. Now we have the first talk series. It was started by today. So once again, I'm very happy to invite all the dignitaries onto this platform. Today we have the series in elite talk. Today we have the elite talk by Faria Khatoon Naqvi. Faria Khatoon Naqvi. I feel very happy and privileged to introduce today's speaker, Madam Faria Khatoon Naqvi. Madam recently pursued her PhD in the year 2022 and she is very expertise person in environment related nanomaterials and the applications of nanotechnology towards the advantage of environment. And Madam completed a major research project that is a 3-year major research project funded by UPCST, and she is selected for senior research fellowship from CSIR, and she published for her credit 12 papers in various international journals, and she edited 2 book chapters, and Madam has 145 citations in various science sites, and she has very expertise in synthesis and characteristics of nanomaterials. With this brief introduction, I warmly welcome Dr. Faria Khatoon on this ECOR platform. Madam, I request you to handle this session.
Thank you, Dr. Savitri. Thank you for such nice introduction. Is I am audible to you?
Yes, ma'am, you can proceed.
Okay. Shall I share my slides?
Yeah, please.
Okay, okay. Hello, everyone. A very good afternoon to all of you. Hope you are, all are doing well. Today, we will discuss about the nanotechnology for the environment. First of all, what is nanotechnology? Nanotechnology is most common term which deals with the nano scale materials. This technologies make us to use the object in their minute levels. The property of the materials changes when the bulk is split into small sizes. The nanoscale materials possesses a unique property, and these property are especially come and enhance the electronic, mechanical, optical properties usually. Then, first of all, what are nanomaterials? We always are curious about one is talking about nanomaterials. First of all, what are nanomaterials and what are their types? Nanomaterials are the particle which make extremely tiny material to possess the unique physical as well as chemical properties. And these type of materials are referred to nanomaterials. The single dimension of this material is may be equal to or less than 100 nanometer, not more than 100. The same composition materials from bulk to reduce in size by changing its conductivity, reactivity, catalytic property, optical property. Actually, from the bulk, when the material comes from bulk to the nano, it causes the quantum confinement. Because of this quantum confinement, these materials changes their properties. The interaction or the presence of these materials in the biological system leads and results to the toxic effect on the living bodies, maybe. Uh, but these nano-sized materials are available in itself in nature also, and we can synthesize in laboratories also. They must have the dimension between, as I told earlier, 1 to 100 nanometers. What are the properties of these nanomaterials? Nanomaterials have, when the Richard Feynman found out the nanomaterials from the bulk materials, they find the various numerous properties of nanomaterial, and as days are passed, these properties are enhancing, and scientists are daily working on it to enhance these properties. First of all, these composition and oxidation state effect, these nanomaterial make on band structure, mechanical property, magnetic property, the lattice parameter, atomic density. Every properties are enhanced when we goes from bulk to nano. The quantum properties of these material get affected by the size when size is reduced. The small size of these materials make them free from internal imperfection present in structure and gain protection from the mechanical failures. Even the thermal and catalytic properties are also enhanced by these confinement. How catalytic? When when the materials goes from macro to nano, the surface area is increased. As the surface area increase, the catalytic properties are also increased. As increase in the ratio of the area of surface to volume leads to the system to become more reactive. These materials can rearrange the crystalline structure or dispersion. Uh, they are also these materials. For example, a titanium oxide, when the nanomaterial of titanium oxide is made, this is these are used in the cosmetics, mainly in the sunscreens. These materials are used, and these titanium oxide are very productive to protect skin from the UV sun rays. Now, we all knows about the nanomaterials. Nanomaterials, which type of nanomaterial, 1 to 100 is nanometer are considered as nanomaterial. But how many types of nanomaterials? Nanomaterials are differentiated into three types: zero dimensional, one dimensional, and three dimensional. And these classifications are based on the approaches that how these materials are characterized and what is their sizes. Now, these zero dimensional nanomaterials, they don't have any dimension. Point materials like oxides, semiconductors, quantum dots, halo spheres, these types of these types of nanomaterials are made itself in the laboratory. This can be made. For example, the scientists showed that the nanoporous gold nanoporous zero dot materials are made in the laboratory. Sorry. Okay. Next, what is the one dimensional or two dimensional nanomaterial? 1 billionth of any given unit, that is a film of this type of, is are called one dimensional nanoparticles. It is mainly used in engineering, chemistry, in rather in experimental physics. These are all used in all one-dimensional particles are used in the research, like nanorods, nanowires, nanotubes. Now nano sheets also used for the for manufacturing various devices, piezoelectric materials. While the 2-dimensional nanostructures consist of two-dimensional that are outside the range of nanometric size. It has characteristics dependent upon the shapes. It is monolayer, multilayer. Two-dimensional, it is extend from x direction to y direction, and monolayer, maybe it has one layer, maybe it has two layers simultaneously, self-assembled, maybe these layers are interlinked with via some linkage. Next is three-dimensional nanomaterials. These are consist three directions, X, Y, and Z direction. These are most widely used nanomaterials and used in magnetic material, catalysis. Mostly catalysts are spherical in shape, or in semiconducting materials, in uh, piezoelectric materials, in light emitting materials, everything. These 3D materials are comprises. The basic examples of 3D materials are fullerenes, dendrimers, quantum dots, etc. What are the advantages? First of all, we are thinking, we are making the materials, we are using various kinds of synthesis for making these materials in the laboratory. These are there are two types of synthesis for making the nanomaterials. It top down synthesis and bottom up synthesis of nanomaterials. But why we are synthesizing these materials? What are their properties? Okay, if we are saying they have catalytic property, they have magnetic property, they have piezoelectric properties, then where we are using these materials, where are using why we are using them? This is comprises in advantages, and when the materials have advantages, there are some demerits also. The advantages of these materials: the small size of these materials offer the possibility of manipulation, easier multiplication. Porosity is high in nanomaterial, leads to an increase in its demand in the industry. Now, porosity may be used in the paint industry, maybe used in the wire industry. The usage of these nanomaterials in the energy sector make the energy sector, and it cut the cost. That means it make the material more cheaper and easier to use. In the industrial electronics, the involvement of nanomaterial increase accuracy while constructing the circuits on atomic levels. The ratio of surface to volume is large enough in these materials, permits the bonding of active ingredients and the cells. Compared to coarsely grained ceramics, in nanophase ceramics, these ceramics are used in building materials to make the buildings cooler. As we know, all saw the buildings are nowadays, buildings are making 104th floor and so far and far, and these materials are used to make these buildings more cooler. And if the building is already cooler, then we don't need the ACs in every room. Now that lower the cost, and if we cut the ACs, it help in the environment. Now, what are the disadvantages of these materials? Obviously, everything has a disadvantage at the further side. The exposure of these nanomaterials due to inhalation, because of these nano sizes, the inhalation problems. Workers have problems with these nanomaterials. Researchers have problems when they are working long hours in these materials. For example, material like carbon nanofibers and nanotubes lead to pulmonary fibrosis, examined from the animal study. This disease are lead when we regularly inhale these materials, and that causes this disease. Due to no proper knowledge of these material may cause the process of manufacturing to be difficult and complex. Nanomaterials, obviously, if we are going to cadmium nanomaterial and other nanomaterials, the toxic substance nanomaterial. Now, these toxic substance are obviously toxic to the human. Uh, these nanomaterials are unstable. Now, they are trying to reach their original position, and that's why these are the material, the devices or things made from these materials, which are some materials are unstable, most of them are stable, but some materials are unstable, and they are trying to stabilize themselves, and that because of this, these devices are not functioning very uh, efficiently. The recycling of these materials are hard. If we want to recycle these, this recycling is very hard. It's very complex process. Rather than we are saying hard, it's a complex process. Now, what are the applications of these nanomaterials? Nanomaterials are using, we can use nanomaterials in various sector, in energy sector, in medicine, in healthcare sector, in insulation. The application of bioimaging prefer these materials because they possess a very various intensity of colors. As we go from micro to nano, these materials are lie in the range of in UV range. They have a very low band gap. Because of these low band gap, they have a good conductivity. So good conductivity, they are very good in conducting process. They have very they show various colors in UV region. This made possible by changing the thickness of intensity of colors of the solution. This when we made something from nanoparticles, it shows different colors in different lights. If we make some pyramid or some prism, a small prism from this nanoparticle, it shows in white light it shows some other color. When you see the same prism or same thing in yellow light, it will show different color. It's this is because of the quantum confinement, because of this band gap. The nano-sized particles such as gold will melt at lower temperature in comparison to the bulkier ones. Nanoparticles are utilized or used in various processes of manufacturing healthcare products, and mostly it is used in drug targeting, and in uh, where the drug is impossible to reach, we use nanomaterials to target the drug at their source. Healthcare consisting of artificially developed enzymes are made from these nanomaterials. These enzymes are useful in diagnosis of tumor and biosensing, mostly used in the biosensors. Paint, we use in paint to protect from the UV rays. Most of the houses where UV rays are the problem, they use nano particles in the paints. They made a special paint for to protect the house from the UV rays. Nowadays, some nanoparticles are also used in paint to protect the walls from bacteria and fungi. The those areas where the problem of grain, most of the areas which has wet regions, they use the paint which are rich in nanoparticle, and these nanoparticle protect these walls, their walls from fungi and bacteria. And this, as we discussed before, the titanium oxide nanoparticles is used in cosmetic like sunscreen, and also used in other things. But long use of these materials causes cancerous like properties. The researchers are still working on it, and we are trying to cope with these material and to make some uh, healthier material which is helpful for human and for the environment. And these materials does not cause uh, any disastrous thing to the environment nor to the human being. These are some references. If you want to know more about nanoparticles, what type of nanoparticles are used for energy devices, for piezoelectrics, for cosmetics, you can refer to these nanomaterials, these references. There are some good review papers and researches. And thank you so much for listening.
Thank you very much, Faria ma'am, for your extensive, vast information on nanotechnology and what is nanomaterials and what are the different properties of nanomaterials and use of nanomaterials in present day scenario and the types of nanomaterials and advantages and disadvantages also you covered in this topic and the applications and the references which you gave that may be more useful for us. Dear participants, you have any doubts regarding to this topic, you can ask madam. It's open for discussion. You please interact with Faria ma'am if you have any doubt regarding to this nanomaterials and their applications in environment. Is it Dalip
Yes,
Singh sir, you please ask no problem.
yes,
Hello.
Neetu. Neetu posted one question. Yes, 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 Dilip.
Good evening, ma'am. Actually, I want to know about the nanoparticles. Other than human being, it is to how much how we can means decide to that it is how much harmful to environment. Like if we then use so after using we are throwing the the waste of nanoparticles in environment or anywhere. How it is harmful to environment?
How it is harmful to environment if
Yeah,
we
yeah,
put the waste to
yeah,
the
yeah.
actually these nanoparticles are made from chemicals, and chemicals are itself harmful for the environment. Okay, and we don't know about the properties of these material which we are synthesizing until or unless we are not doing proper care of them. Neetu posted one question. Nanoparticles are toxic to human body, but they are used in paints too. That affects our house itself. She's very right. When we are using these nanoparticles in paints, and we are residing inside the house, and we are inhaling these paints, and these nanoparticles are harmful. When we are goes to the cheaper one, nowadays these nanoparticles are very costly. Nobody some few people can afford them, but by making them cheaper and cheaper, these goes very uh, harmful for our health. So when we select something like that which are good for our house or good for this, we should see the disadvantages and demerits. And yes, Dilip, how much it harmful for the environment. It causes uh, soil erosion if we are directly dumping on the ground. It causes soil erosion. It can harmful for the plants also, and it can harmful for the animals and birds also. But these nanoparticles, as far as known, these nanoparticles have no effect on birds and animals up till now. But we don't know about the future because we are researching new and new things every day.
Thank you.
Any
Thank you, Dilip.
Okay, hello, ma'am. My
any
name
more
is
doubts?
yeah, hello, ma'am. My name is
Yes,
Vishal.
yes, Santosh.
Please sir.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Vishal.
Please.
Yes, Vishal.
yeah. So, my question is that if we all know the effects of these chemicals and how technology is affecting our environment. Despite of having this information and the knowledge, why are we still investing so much into new kinds of things like coming up with nanotechnology in terms of paints and in terms of uh, which is like basically which works against the bacteria and the fungi, and which is very essential for the environment and the planet to survive. And don't you think that these nanoparticles will start competing with the bacteria and the fungi world, also to do with the other protozoas and other microorganisms living in the planet? And despite of the fact that plastic came up like this only, and now we are facing problems with microplastics, now something like nanotechnology coming into scenes. I mean, why is this being encouraged? Any idea, or would you like to give your views?
Yes, Vishal, very good thinking. You are right. These particles are harmful, but everything is, if we are using, the excess of everything is harmful. If you are using your mobile excessively, it is harmful to you. Nanoparticles, rather than its demerit, we are searching its merit. You have a mobile. This mobile is very slim, and you can carry everywhere. Why we can use these mobiles, which are very slim, and we can carry technology everywhere? How it could be possible? It is due to these technologies. The world goes to the nano, not macro. We don't need macro things. We need nano things which are portable, which are we can use easily. After this pandemic, COVID-19, you can see the advertisement. Everyone is advertising that we have this which can fight from germs. We have this paint which can fight from germs. We have this detergent which can fight from them. They are this is a competition. They are introducing these types of things to the market, which are useful for the, and people are saying, oh, this is antibacterial, it is antifungal, it is something like that, and they can purchase it. No, this is competition. No, and the scientists are regularly reviewing or researching these types of material which can use for the humankind. But the main objective for the scientist is nowadays is to make these types of material which cannot harm human as well as animals, nor the these animals and birds, not even the protozoas and fungi. This I told you that the paints which having the anti fungal and antibacterial activities, these are paints which are used on walls to protect them, so that nobody can waste their money and their time on painting the walls every month or every 6 months. They can use this, and in twice a year they can paint once in their hall. Now, so they can uh, conserve their money. They can save their money. But it's a research. It is a science, and science make everything new in every month, in every day, and every week.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Vishal.
Thank
Hello,
you,
ma'am.
Faria, for your presentation.
Hello,
One more
hello.
question was posted. One second, Santosh. Here, one more question is there in the chat box. Diksha Arora asked for medicinal treatments and 3D printing. They are being used, and they were made by nanomaterials. What can we do? Is there any alternations instead of nanomaterials? You please clarify.
Oh, yes, Diksha. For medical treatment, yes, 3D printing, these are made. Yeah, for medical treatment, these nanomaterials are used for drug targeting, where these machineries are not useful. They make the nanomaterials like iron oxide, ferric oxide, and ferrous oxide. These are not harmful for the human body. It's iron, and these iron oxides they make, and these iron oxides are useful for the drug targeting to the target tumor cells, like cancerous cells, tumor cells. They target the exact that tumor cell from these iron oxide nanomaterials.
And one more
Anything in chat box?
question is
Yes, yes, of
posted in
course.
the chat box. What is the role of nanomaterials in water treatment?
Yes, this is the recent studies, and everyone is researching this water treatment plants. Actually, these we discussed the properties of nanomaterial. They have the property that they are from bulk to nano. The size of the material is increased as this size is decreased, and surface area is increased. As the surface area increased, it is more act as a absorbent. And when it's more absorbent, it is used as a catalyst. When the some water body is affected by various dyes, like the water bodies near factories and near medicinal factories and dyes factories, these are affected from these dyes and dirty residues. These catalysts are you can use in those water bodies, and they can absorb all the dye material to themselves, and we can remove these nanomaterials from the that water body. And this is the water treatment plant. Nowadays these nanomaterials are used in water treatment plants and water splitting, also hydrogen, to remove the hydrogen. The recent studies is hydrogen is made as the fuel, and future fuel is hydrogen, and that's why these nanoparticles are made to split the hydrogen from water and to utilize these hydrogen for the energy. Hope
Any
you
more
are
doubts,
satisfied with my
please?
answer.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, you please.
Uh, Hello, ma'am. First of all, I want to greet everyone present here. And my
Yes,
question to
Santosh.
yes, ma'am. A question to you is that you have elaborated everything, the pros and cons of the use of nanomaterials. You have said it protects us from the UV rays and protects the wall from emerging
Santosh, your voice is
organisms in
not.
the.
Santosh, your voice is not audible.
Yes. Okay. Okay.
It's
Uh,
go.
Yes, Santosh, could
Now
you repeat
is
your
my
question?
voice clear?
Yeah, yeah, now it's clear.
Okay. Uh, you have elaborated many things. You have elaborated the pros and cons of use of nanomaterials. Uh, and I want to ask you, what is your opinion? Do you stand for the support of use of nanomaterials, or you want to avoid the use of nanomaterials? Because you have elaborated the pros and cons, and what will be your proclivity to either it will be towards the abandoning the use of nanomaterials, or will be towards the use of nanomaterials.
Okay, okay, I got your question. I got your question, Santosh. Yes, you want to know my opinion whether we can use nanomaterials or not.
Yeah, please.
These nanomaterials, we use it as a devices like batteries. Lithium ion batteries are these macro batteries, but now we are concise to the nano material batteries. We can concise these solar cells, piezoelectric materials we can use as a nanomaterial. They didn't harm us, they didn't harm animals, they didn't harm birds, neither human beings, neither the nor the environment. But if we use these nanomaterials for the for sunscreen in cosmetics and the regular use of these, they harm us. For example, recently you heard in the news that Johnson and Johnson's baby powder is lifted from the market because it causes the cancer. It causes the cancer. And why this causes the cancer? Now the scientists are researching what are the materials in this powder that causes the cancer. Everything has the impurities, everything has the demerits. That's why I believe, it's my opinion, I believe, I don't want these types of nanomaterials which are harmful for human body, like these cadmium mercurius compound. These are harmful for our body. But if you see, the gold and silver are not harmful for human body. If we use these nanomaterials and consume them, it's not harmful. you probably see the silver foil on the sweets. We consume sweets, and we saw these silver foils on the sweets. This is there is a reason to put the silver foil on the sweets. This is not just for the decoration, because this silver is antibacterial itself. And we know the sweets, whenever there are the sweets, there are some house flies and these things over there. And these house flies consist bacteria in their tentacles. And these foils, silver foils or gold foils, make these sweets antibacterial. Whenever a small child is there is a small child, the parents used to drink give them the water in silver utensils, in silver spoons. Why? Because the silver is antibacterial, and that small infant baby have a very weak immune system. They will try to take them a silver. They can't give them the whole silver in them, in his mouth, in his or her mouth. So in and nano in the nano ranges, they consume the silver. Likewise, the older pupils told you to drink water in copper material or copper utensils. Why so? Because this copper is very useful for your health. It's very good for your health. We put the water overnight in the copper material, copper utensil, and consume on in the morning. Why? Because copper is good for your health. That's like this. Every material is not good for your health. Some materials are good for your health. These are antibacterial itself. No, it doesn't harm to your body. Like iron oxides are used for the drug targeting, not the cadmium oxide. They are not using cadmium oxide for the drug delivery, because cadmium is harmful for your health. But they use iron oxide for your health. They use titanium oxide for sunscreen, for external use only, not for the internal use. Not They are not given titanium oxide for drug delivery, because they know titanium oxide is not for your to intake. It's only for external use only. They write on the tube, for external use only. Do not eat. No, that's why these materials have their different values, different properties, and they can use according to their properties. We can't use these which are very good in some conducting property to the drug delivery. We can't use this. No, so these materials we can use according to their category. Hope, Santosh, you are satisfied with my answer, with my opinion.
Yeah, thank you.
Any clarifications? Any doubts? If you want, you can ask. It's open for discussion. If no doubts, dear participants, there is a feedback form in the chat box. You please post your valuable feedback on today's select talk by Faria Khatoon. One more question was posted by Dalip saying, what are the other alternative natural products like nanoparticles that can be used in the same manner as a nanoparticle? That means, is there any natural products which are not harmful to the body that can be useful for our replacement to nanoparticles?
Yes, Dilip, we have alternatives, but right now I don't have any idea about the natural products. But yes, everything have an alternative. But if we have alternative in medicines, in cosmetics, but not in semiconductor field, not in solar cell field, not in piezoelectric field, not in mechanical properties types of material field. But yes, we have alternatives, always are always there.
Any doubts? You can post in the chat box also. If you have any doubt, raise your hand, or otherwise you can post your doubts in the chat box. If no doubts mean, thank you, Dr. Faria Khatoon Naqvi ma'am, for your wonderful session on nanomaterials and nanotechnology, and for the environment and environmental related activities. We are very much elated with your topic. And one more question was posted in the chat box. I think this is the last question. Is organic materials like vegetables peel using for the synthesis of nanomaterials?
Yes, Nupur. It is called green synthesis. We can use neem leaves, we can use peels, we can use turmeric for the synthesis. Yeah, and these syntheses are called green synthesis, and it's eco-friendly.
More work is going on in nanotechnology and nanotechnology application recent days. So instead of harmful nanomaterials, we can use organic materials like vegetables and other safe materials also, I think so. Thank you, Faria Khatoon, ma'am, for your elaborated extensive work and presentation on nanomaterials and its applications. We are very much
Thank you, Dr. Savitri.
thankful to you for explaining in a detailed information about this nanotechnology. I personally request you, when we are organizing one international webinar, you please extend your cooperation and your presentation in our international seminar also.
Yes, sure. And thank you for ECOR Foundation for giving me the platform to express my views and opinions. And thank you, Jishnu, for this wonderful event.
Thank you very much for all the participants to participate in this elite talk by Faria Khatoon Naqvi ma'am. I request all the participants to please feed the feedback form which was posted in the chat box. Thank you, one and all, for participating in this first session. And from this now onwards, we are continuing these elite talks. You please observe in the groups for more details. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, one and all, for your active participation in this elite talk session. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, everyone. Have a good night. Have a